Imagine you are lying in your room. You are half asleep and the room light is turned off. Suddenly, you feel a soft rustling in your room and your eyes open. In that dark room, a jet-black figure shaped like a human is standing very close to your face, bending its head down and staring at you. Just imagine what your condition would be. Your soul would almost leave your body. There are some incidents like this that happen to people, and they share them with me. If you are interested in listening to such events, then you can continue this story. Now let's move towards our stories. My name is Omar Williams, and I am 30 years old. The incident I'm about to tell you happened around 4 years ago. At that time, I was working at a pizza delivery company in Melbourne, Australia. I cannot tell the brand name due to privacy reasons. Mostly, I worked night shifts because they paid a little extra. You also get some tips, and honestly, it was enough to survive decently. This incident is from a residential society located on the outskirts of Melbourne. It was a very famous and well-known society. It was newly developed at that time and almost deserted. Houses were not fully occupied yet. Some houses were under construction, some were completed, and very few people actually lived there. I apologize, but I cannot share the name of that society. Some houses had families living in them. The rest were empty plots, half-built houses, and long, dark streets. A place that looks fine during the day, but at night, even a man gets scared of his own shadow. This incident happened during winter. It was so cold that even my breath was coming out like smoke. I was wearing a jacket, a sweater underneath, a t-shirt inside, a scarf, gloves, everything. I even had a wool cap inside my helmet. Still, the cold was reaching my bones. That night, it was around 2 a.m. There were not many orders at the shop. I was standing near the counter checking my phone when suddenly my Rider app rang. I picked up the phone and saw the location. I thought to myself, this is that same society again. I was surprised, but an order is an order. The order was for a large bungalow, 2 large pizzas, garlic bread, cold drinks, and other items. I informed the kitchen staff. In 5 to 7 minutes, everything was ready. I placed the boxes in the thermal bag, wore my helmet, and started my bike. Just as I was about to leave, the customer called. "Hello, son, are you the rider?" "Yes, sir, I am the delivery boy," I replied. He said, "Our house is at the very end of the sector. I have sent the location, just follow it." I said okay. Then he added one more thing, "Do not come from the back street behind our house, only come from the front street." I said, "Okay, sir, I'll follow the location." He said, "Yes, the house number is written clearly on the front." Then his voice slightly changed, as if he was making sure. "Just remember, not from the back street." I laughed lightly and said, "Okay, sir, I won't come from the back." The call ended. I placed the phone on the holder and started riding. The city roads were almost empty. Somewhere far away, dogs were barking. Empty signals, empty roads, just me, my bike, and cold wind. Darkness everywhere. I increased my speed to finish quickly. After some time, I entered that society, which was completely drowned in darkness. Empty streets, unfinished houses on both sides. Steel rods sticking out, broken walls, a few houses with dim lights, the rest darkness. I kept following the map. A small blue dot ahead of me on the screen. At one point, the map told me to turn left. I did. Then I entered a narrow street. I couldn't understand whether this was the front side or the back side. I had never come this deep into the society before. Finally, the map showed, "You have arrived." I stopped the bike and looked around. This looked like the backside of houses. The wall in front looked like the rear wall of a house. No house number was written. There was a street light on one side, but its light barely reached the gate. The gate was rusty. There were grills on top, and behind them a completely dark lawn. I took out my phone and called the customer. It rang 2 or 3 times, but no one answered. I thought, he clearly told me to come from the front, and now he is not answering. At that moment, I heard soft talking sounds behind me, as if 2 people were talking upstairs or inside. The voices were not clear, but loud enough to feel that 2 people were talking. I thought this must be the house. I went near the rusty gate and gently knocked. I could already see the lock, but I thought maybe someone would open it. As soon as I knocked, the voices suddenly stopped. Complete silence. I pressed the bell next to the gate, which was covered in dust. The bell rang very faintly, as if no one had pressed it for years. Silence again. No footsteps. Nothing. My heart skipped a beat. I looked up at the window. For a moment, I felt like a shadow moved, as if someone looked from behind the curtain and stepped back. I tried calling the customer again. No answer. I opened the Rider app and checked the order details. In the emergency note, it said, if we don't answer the phone, leave the pizza under the gate, we will pay online. Immediately, I remembered his warning. Do not come from the back street. I took a deep breath. I was definitely standing in the back street. The house looked abandoned. Dust on walls, rust on the gate, weeds below. It looked like no one had lived there for months. I checked nearby houses. On the right, another wall with a number that didn't match the order. On the left, an empty plot and a half-built house. I came back in front of the gate. My hands were numb from the cold. I checked WhatsApp. No online status. Then something strange happened. From inside the gate, something small fell, like a pebble. A thud sound came and the gate shook slightly. I bent down quickly to look. Dry leaves, dirt, darkness. No animal. As I stood up, I heard a very soft laugh from above. Not a normal human laugh, as if someone was laughing with their mouth covered, or from a closed room. I looked up again. Nothing. Just darkness. I panicked, but then my mind tried to be practical. I am a poor man. I can't just leave the order. Fuel and time are mine. I gathered courage and went back to my bike. I called the customer again. After many rings, the call connected. He sounded out of breath. "Brother, have you reached?" "Yes, sir," I said calmly. "I am at the location, but the map brought me to the back street. There is a locked house with a rusty gate. I rang the bell and knocked, but no one came." He went silent. Then seriously asked, "You are standing in the back street?" "Yes, sir." His voice changed completely. "Brother, leave that place immediately. I told you many times not to come from the back. Move ahead, cross the street, come to the main road. I am coming." "Sir, is everything okay?" I asked. "Ask later, just leave that street now, please." I started the bike. As I turned, I looked at the gate one last time. This time I clearly saw a shadow behind the grill. A tall figure standing straight. No face visible, but see. Just something white near the top, maybe a face or cloth. It wasn't moving at all. I quickly looked away, crossed the street and stopped on the main road. After 2 or 3 minutes, a car arrived. A man around 45 years old got out. "You are the rider?" "Yes, sir." He asked where I was standing earlier. I told him about the rusty gate. His face turned pale. "Who told you to ring the bell?" I said I thought it was his house. He said in a mix of fear and anger, "We left that house years ago. That was our old house. We now live in this front bungalow." He pointed at a bright house with a clear number. My legs felt weak. I told him about the voices and laughter. He said, "That's enough. You've already stayed there too long." He took the pizzas, paid, gave me a tip, and took me aside. "Son, that house was built where a very old tree once stood. Locals warned us not to cut it. They said jinn lived there. We ignored them." He explained how strange things started happening during construction. Footsteps at night, tools falling, shadows. A worker saw a woman-like shadow on the tree trunk. After moving in, things got worse. Sounds at night, doors moving, children feeling someone breathing in their rooms. A religious scholar came and told them that a jinn family lived there. Some things reduced with Quran recitation, but never stopped. Finally, they left the house. No one stayed long after that. He looked into my eyes and said, "That's why I tell every rider, don't use the back street." I promised myself I would never go there again. My name is Carter, and I live in Manchester, United Kingdom. This incident happened last year when I was working night shifts as a pizza delivery rider. I always liked night shifts. Less traffic, faster deliveries, more orders. But what happened that night I will never forget. It was around 11 p.m. when an order came. The location said, "Victory Heights, Tower B, top floor. Also bring cigarettes." I smiled. Night customers often ask for extra items. I checked the location. It was about 20 minutes away in a deserted area. An old construction project, half-built. When I reached, I saw a large building. A board said Victory Heights. The entire building was dark. Only the top floor had a dim yellow light. A boy called from above, "Brother, come by lift. Top floor. Don't forget cigarettes." The gate was open. No one at reception. Dust, broken tiles, fan noise. I pressed the lift button. The lift came slowly. Inside were dirty mirrors. I pressed the top floor button. The lift moved with strange sounds. On the 4th floor, it shook. Lights flickered. On the 6th floor, it stopped. The door opened halfway, then closed. Opened again. My phone rang. "Don't use the lift. Come by stairs," he said nervously. I stepped out. The floor was dark. A flickering blue light from a hanging wire. Footstep sounds came behind me. Heavy, slow. I found the stairs. Completely dark. As I climbed, I heard breathing. Not human. Wet and heavy. Finally, I reached the 7th floor. A metal door said, "Call center, no entry." Blue light was coming from underneath. I knocked. A voice said, "Come inside." But it was an old man's voice. Inside, 4 computers were on. No people. One screen lit up and said, "Look behind you." I froze. A voice whispered on the phone, "Whatever happens, don't look back." Something touched my shoulder. Cold fingers. I ran. The door slammed shut. I ran down the stairs. Lights flickered. Voices followed. Finally, I reached the ground floor. The guard was there. He told me the truth. In 2017, 6 call center workers died in a lift accident. The building was shut down. Orders still come sometimes. Calls still happen. He calmly said, "Next time, don't go up." Since then, I reject such orders. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to stay up to date. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave your feedback in the comments below. And if you want more spine-chilling stories, just click on the video on your screen to keep watching. Stay safe, and see you in the next story.